Greetings and salutations, YouTubers and malefactors. We're back here at Stop Logic Motorsports, and we're doing the exhaust portion of this video. So I'm gonna have to give credit where credit's due. There's a channel called Lex D Fox. I don't know exactly how he pronounces it, but it looks like Lex D Fox. And the video in question is using a CRF450X exhaust on a CRF450L. So his video was kind of inspiration for me giving this a shot. Except for, well, to be quite honest, in his video he managed to find a 450X muffler at one point. I never managed to do that. So let's see, we're going to switch to inches. We're going to do a few different things. So the idea of using the X header on the L was credited to him, and this luggage strap. And we're going to do a little bit of a video seeing how much weight we're about to save on here. So if you're curious why I chose to use the X header with the FMF pipe, that's because basically I could find the FMF pipe for about $400, and the header for the X was about $170 after tax. So doing the emissions delete, we have removed 1.5 pounds of stuff from the bike. Alright, so that's a pound and a half. Mainly I removed this so I could reach my cam tensioner bolt easier. We're going to do a little bit of scientific measuring, but this is the stock RL header. And I should probably peel off this pipe guard real quick so we can get a more accurate measurement of what we're removing. So we'll pause this real quick. I'm going to get this bad boy off of here, and then we'll continue weighing and measuring. Alrighty, so that was a little bit more of a headache than I thought. The hose clamps that come with this are woefully cheap. It is 1.2 pounds. Apparently you have to be very deliberate with this thing when you use it. So 1.2 pounds, and we'll put this aside because we're going to do another measurement. I'll pull off the FMF spacer. And let's see how heavy the X header is. Now you can tell just from casual observation this thing's a good bit beefier. Alright. 1.5, so we gain 0.2 pounds using the X header. Take a break, buddy. But there are other measurements to bear in mind. So the width of the L header is 1.38 inches in diameter. So that's a pretty choked down pea shooter. And the X is 1.45, which is a significant gain. So we're going to have a less restrictive header. We're going to have a pair of mufflers now get weighed. And I'm not going to bother measuring the holes in the mufflers, but imagined. Oh goodness, make sure before you try and take this thing off you eat your Wheaties. So let's see if I can find a good strap point to measure this bad boy from. Since it would be secure enough. Alright. Let my scale zero out. I'm not entirely sure it's 12.9. I'll zero back out. 13.1 pounds, in case you haven't seen it. Whew! Dang. Don't want to lift that thing. Actually, if you want to get in shape for riding this bike, try bench pressing that thing 100 reps, and believe me, you'll get a good workout. And I've got the FMF Q4. Alright, zero this out. And we have 5.3 pounds. So we're shaving off basically 8 pounds from the stock muffler. Give or take, you're gaining 0.2 pounds with the new header. But you're achieving the results of having a less restrictive exhaust for a total cost of about 170 bucks. Not 170 bucks, 570 bucks. 170 for this, about 400 for the Q4. My quiet insert's still on the way, so, you know, I'm taking a little bit of time with that. But anywho, without further gilding the lily, I need to find my exhaust gasket. So before you do this job, you need to make sure you order an exhaust gasket. It's about $2, a little crush copper gasket. And we're going to locate that real quick. And your red RTV sealant for matching this all together. And then past that, you should be good. It's actually fairly straightforward. There's a ton of videos on how to install these. Quite honestly, they'll probably do a bit more justice to this, but we're going to go ahead and fit this real quick. Let me grab my crush washer, which is right here, and we'll get underway. So when you're putting on one of these FMF systems, you need to make sure you leave everything relatively wiggly. Leave it loose. I've already cleaned the exhaust header. Make sure you peeled out the old gasket, which I touched on the emissions video. Helps to have a pick. I used a small flat blade screwdriver. It took a little doing, but it got out. And voila, fancy nose ring. Put your copper in there. Orient your pipe and kind of slide your copper in there. Goodness. This might be a little harder to... Okay, orient your pipe. Try 3. Slide your copper in there. Slap your collar on. Which apparently is very much so directional. And find your header bolts. Now we're just going to thread all this on just enough to keep it from flopping all over the place. And I reached out to Lex D. Fox about if this would clear the front wheel, because it does stick out a little more than the stock RL, but I never heard back from him. So either it doesn't cause an issue. He's done a year's worth of content after it on this bike, so I'd assume if there was an issue on it, he would have done a video. And if there is an issue on it, and I find it, well, you guys can count on me that I'll do a video saying, oh my goodness, this was a terrible idea. So, you see, I'm confident that this doesn't turn out to be a terrible idea. Alrighty, so we just kind of slide these bad boys in here a little bit. Just everything finger tight. Alright, to fit on the FMF, you're actually going to have to use this spacer. So the FMF pipe is actually going to be about a 1/16 of an inch bigger than this, but it's still comparable. Though the FMF header is going to run you about 300 bucks. A little more than 160. Go. So instructions are use red RTV sealant. Now at this point you should be using gloves, but you know. Basically, you line the inside with some red RTV sealant. And the reason you want to do this is it doesn't come with a gasket. And you'll melt your plastics if you don't have any sealant on here. So, alright, so after having a bit of fun getting that RTV sealant off of me, I'm back out here and we're going to work on the FMF pipe. Whew. It's a little messy. So the next spot of RTV is going to be on this connection to your sleeve. This time I'm going to definitely wear a glove because that was really hard to get off of there. Now there's going to be something a little special you deal with. Oh goodness. Should have powdered my hands before doing this. Now I'm going to funnily wear a glove. Big old loopy glob in here. There's another step to this since this is an RL. It's actually not designed to take a aftermarket header. So, gloop your inside. And then, something special to note is there's a tab here that's supposed to keep you from fitting a aftermarket pipe onto here. So if you have a handy dandy set of vice pliers like I've got, you can either bend it or cut it. Maybe you need something a little stronger than these vice pliers. Basically, you just gotta bend it out of the way. And then with these cheap vice pliers, struggle to get it back off. Well, I'll keep on bending it. Or I'll just straight snap it off. Okay, well, remove this tab. Otherwise, when you hang it up on this mount here, it's not going to let you put it into place. Apparently the spacer didn't quite fit into the muffler quite right, so I had to give it a little love tap. Luckily, the header hadn't fully gone onto the crush washer yet, so we're still in good shape on that. It's starting to become a lesson of don't work on your stuff when you're really tired from another long-term project. Alright, so this should go in a bit easier now. It's just the spacer and the pipe that was a little bit deforming on the edge of the pipe. So, gotta roll with it. When you encounter a setback, gotta be flexible to deal with it. Now, alright, cinch these things back up just a smidge, not all the way down. Don't tighten everything all the way in. It's really something to hold the pipe in place. Okay, maybe a little bit tighter than I anticipated, but whatever. Still, everything should fit together. Alright, now we try stabbing it this way. Oh, look at that. Like a glove. And all these bolts appear to line up-ish. They appear to line up-ish. So anywho, we're part of the way done with our FMF install. All I'm gonna do is just get the hanger bolts and cap my RTV before it becomes dry TV. And, well, let's grab some more of these bolts. Do 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 boom 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 boom. Alright, let's get you stabbed in there, mon ami. Looks like we're dealing with a 10. It's been kind of a rough day on these Chinese sockets. Retorquing these motor mounts, the cheapy sockets started breaking. I have 2 broken sockets now. That would have been kind of interesting. Now the second bolt is supposed to feed through there. This is supposed to be the stock exhaust mount bolt. Yeah. Alright, let's get you stabbed into here. They just slowly come together. I don't think the bike will be the rest of the way together, do I? Yeah, we'll work on that the rest of the way. So anywho, before that gets really in there and we get emotionally invested in that bolt point. Alright. I think we're cooking with oil now. I do want to put the quiet insert in on this because I'm not really a huge fan of gigantically loud pipes. And the little tang just popped right off of there. Alright. Tight there. Now we hit this pipe. I forget the foot-pounds. I'm just going to cinch it and I'm going to look it up here in a second. Alright, I'll take a little second to see our torque value for this and we'll be right back. Oh, apparently the exhaust bolts are 16 foot-pounds. So we're going to back this down from the 37 for the motor mounts. Or 16 foot-pounds. And let's get to torquing. It's torquing time. Alright, 16 there. And on these, pop them both a couple times because we're dealing with a copper crush washer. Might have a little bit of wiggle. And one more on you. And voila! We have the X header, which that's way away from that wheel. Not anything to even worry about. That's just barely further out, maybe half an inch. And there you go. So this is how you shave a good amount of weight, balling on a budget. We'll come back with the total figures of weight that I've shaved off the bike this weekend. And then we'll come back with a noise test. And then hopefully once I get my quiet core insert, I'll be noise that I can tolerate listening to. Alright, well I'm going to button up all the boring stuff and see you guys here in a few.